There's a full programme of Barclays Premier League matches over the weekend, including two massive derbies, one in North London and the other on Merseyside. So join myself and Spurs captain Ledley King as we preview the big weekend. Hello and welcome to this special live show previewing the upcoming Barclays Premier League weekend. Tomorrow, Liverpool and Everton go head-to-head in the first Merseyside derby of the season. Sunday sees Arsenal make the short journey to White Hart Lane. And if that weren't enough, Fulham and QPR are also going to be battling it out in London. Joining me to discuss those fixtures, as well as the rest of the weekend's action, Tottenham Hotspur captain Ledley King is here. Welcome, Ledley. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. More from Ledley in just a moment, but I should remind you the show is, of course, live, so if you've got any questions for Ledley, do use the box on your screen and we'll do our best to tackle them over the course of the show. Also, if you're using Twitter, you can ask questions using the hashtag #AskLedley and we'll try and give you a mention there as well. Ledley, so North London derby is the fixture that the Spurs fans look out for at the beginning of the season straight away, of course, at 4 p.m. on Sunday. But before we get into that, tell us a little bit about how you've seen Spurs' season so far.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a mixed bag really so far. Obviously the first two games were disappointing. But since then, we've managed to put 3 wins on the spin, and it's looking up at the moment.
And do you think that's going to continue, that good run on against Arsenal? Yeah,
well, obviously, as I say, we're in good form at the moment. It's a good time for us to be going into the game.
Yeah.
So it's always a massive game. People say that form goes out the window on Derby Day.
Yeah.
But, for us, we feel good about the game.
OK, what about yourself? I mean, you're talking about feeling good. What about yourself? It must be a real pleasure for you to be playing back-to-back games, 3 in a row now.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, I have to, really work hard to avoid, the soft tissue injuries that's been plaguing me. Really,
yeah.
Obviously, not being able to train often has been the problem. But so far, it's been good. 3 games on the back now, and hopefully I can continue. Yeah,
fingers crossed for that, definitely. We have had hundreds of questions, by the way, coming in from football fans out there. Do keep sending them in. Remember, hashtag #AskLedley. We're going to get straight into them. First up, we've got from Dan. He's in Watford, and he says, Leslie, after their start to the season, do you think this is one of the weaker Arsenal sides of recent years?
I wouldn't like to say a weak side. They've still got lots of top quality players in the team. They struggled a little bit, but similar to us at the start of the season, I think, they wasn't sure whether players were coming or going, and I think now they've got a settled team. They're looking to build on that.
What's the big danger? What are you looking out for?
All Arsenal sides play the same way. They like to keep the ball, move the ball, and try to open you up. Obviously Van Persie is a big threat for them. He's a top player, so. He's probably where the goals are likely to come from. But as I say, they can open you up at any time. So we'd be aware of that.
Yeah, I'm sure. OK, let's have a look at the rest of the fixtures as well over the weekend, because there are some really juicy ones. The early fixture on Saturday, as we've mentioned already, Everton hosting Liverpool, Villa against Wigan, Manchester City are at Blackburn, Man United hosting Norwich as well, Sunderland, West Brom and Wolves against Newcastle United. They're all on Saturday. Then on Sunday, we move on to Bolton Wanderers hosting Chelsea, bottom of the table against the Blues. Fulham against QPR, we've mentioned already. Swansea against Stoke, and of course Spurs against Arsenal. Let's, Ledley, talk a little bit though about the Merseyside derby. What's your opinion of that fixture?
Yeah, it's always a great game to watch. One that as a player I look forward to watching. A lot of bite in it, a lot of history in that, and as I say, they always tend to be good games. Yeah,
we've had a question actually from Georgiou through Facebook, who's asked after the Liverpool game, is Luis Suarez still in your pocket?
No, he's a top player.
Yeah,
he is. The first time I played against him was last season, back end of last season, and I'd been out for a while, so I had to be. On form to take care of him, but
sure.
Although we won the game, I could see flashes, that he was a top player, and I think it was more, the team a couple of weeks ago that really, we started off on the right foot, put Liverpool on their back foot, and kept them quiet as a team really, and that really helped.
Diplomatic. You certainly coped better with Luis Suarez than many others have. Let's go on to Fulham QPR as well. Another London derby, of course. Fulham against QPR, and we've got a question here. What are your thoughts on those two teams this season? Fulham against QPR, top half of the table, maybe a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I think they've done okay. Fulham, my old manager Martin Jol, he's probably taking a little bit of time to get his team together, learn about the players. Along with their Europe campaign. It takes a bit of time to juggle that all, and keep your side off well, bring in some new players, some good players, and with good experience. So I expect to see both of them in the top half.
Yeah? Oh, we're looking forward to seeing that. All right, more questions for you from fans here. We've got one from Martin Bullen, who asks, if you hadn't made it as a footballer, what other job would you have liked to do?
I think that's the hardest question for a footballer to answer.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think not many of them know the answer to that, obviously. Right. But I think I've always enjoyed football. I've always enjoyed sports. And I'd like to think that I would have stayed, involved in some kind of sports.
Maybe something else around sports, around football.
Yeah, around football, I think. Yeah.
Can you see yourself doing that after you retire as a player?
Yeah, I could do. I think I'm getting older now, and if you'd asked me 5-6 years ago, I'd have probably said no. But now I'm starting to understand the game a bit more, right. And it's something I could see.
OK, another question here. We've got Colin Sinfield through Facebook and Jake McCormack as well, have both asked the same question. How have you kept your spirits up during your injury spells, and how do you keep motivated?
I love football, my love of the game keeps me motivated. It can be tough, any footballer will tell you, injuries, long-term injuries are tough, there's a lot going on in your head, there's a lot of isolation from the rest of the team. And it can be difficult. I've found it tough at times. It's not been easy at all. But it's always my love and desire to play football and to play at the top level and keep helping my team that always drives me back. OK, thanks, Ledley. Another question here about last night, actually, specifically. We were talking about the game against Shamrock Rovers, and Ali has asked, Ali Ross on Twitter, Spurs have got a few young players coming through the ranks, including last night seeing them in action. Which youth player has the most potential, do you think? Yeah, it's difficult to say with that. I've seen a lot of players, even when I was 14, 15, there was some players with great potential, but you need the whole round package as well as just the potential. We have definitely got some good young players involved in the squad at the moment. Probably the best I've seen in a while at Tottenham. You've seen the likes of Jake Livermore play this season, and every time he's played, he's done well. Tom Carroll. We've got some players from overseas as well. Are playing in the youth team, and they're looking very good players. So. The future's looking bright there. What's the secret between turning that potential that you talked about into the all-round package? I think you need the right people around you. You need to keep a level head. As I say, I played with a lot of talented players. But they didn't quite have the desire, as well as the talent to get to the top level, and they fizzled out. So, you definitely need that too. OK, another question coming from David Rose just now. He's asked, who's the best player you've ever played against? The best player? Zidane. I'd say Zidane was the best player. Played against him for England against France, Euro 2004. Definitely Zidane. I think Henry in the Premiership, Henry for me was the best striker that I've ever played against, but on the world level, I'd have to say Zidane. That's not a bad shortlist, is it? Thierry Henry and Zinedine Zidane. Yeah. Incidentally, talking about shortlists, Radio 5 Live this evening at 5:15, the Barclays Player and Manager of the Month will be revealed, but we've got the exclusive shortlist right now. So, what we're going to do first of all, Ledley, is tell you the shortlist for the Barclays Player of the Month. Sergio Aguero, Wayne Rooney, Emmanuel Adebayor, and Nani and David Silva from Manchester City. What do you think? I think I might be able to predict what you think, but go on. Out of that shortlist, what do you reckon? I think, obviously they're standout players at the moment. If you're asking me who I'm going to choose, I'm going to choose Emmanuel. Obviously, coming into a new side, he's brought a lot to the team, made a big difference, and I think he scored 3 goals since he's arrived already, and he's a top player. Must be nice not to have him playing against you as well on Sunday, because he scored something like six goals in 8 games. Yeah. He's always been a handful every time we've played against each other. So it'd be nice to finally have him on my team. OK, shortlist for the Manager of the Month, Ledley, is Sir Alex Ferguson, Roberto Mancini, Paul Lambert, Alan Pardew, Neil Warnock, and someone called Harry Redknapp. Who do you think you might vote for there? Well, I have to.
Of course you do. You have to.
vote
You
for-
have to. That's right.
Yeah, no, again, you know, I'll say Harry.
Yeah, good man. Okay, to do with that,
Yeah.
Martin O'Riordan says via Twitter, who's the best coach that you've worked under, and more importantly, why?
Another difficult question. Yeah, I've played with, again, I've been lucky enough to play with some great coaches. You know, George Graham was my first manager that brought me through. You know, he taught me a lot, you know, especially about being a defender. I really enjoyed Glenn Hoddle, Martin Yole, and now Harry. You know, he's right up there as well. You know, he's perfect for me at this stage. You know, it's been, as I say, it's not been an easy time for me, and you know, a lot of other managers could have turned their back on me and my situation, but you know, Harry's been brilliant, and I couldn't have asked for any more. So.
Yeah, he's definitely supportive of you all the way through. But another question from Greg is: Did you grow up supporting Spurs before you joined as a schoolboy, or were you someone who, when you joined as a schoolboy, that became your club?
Yeah, I think it was more, you know, when I joined. You know, I think the first ever team I supported was Millwall. My best friend did at the time.
Right.
You know, so I followed him, and we used to go with his dad to a few games. That was my very young age. After that, I kind of didn't support a team, so I didn't feel it was right to support anyone.
Right.
And then I joined Tottenham at 14, and you know, they became my team. So.
Ever since then. David Gertie, also on Facebook, says, who's the best player you've played with in a Spurs shirt?
I don't know. I mean, we've got some players now who are, you know, really top players. You know, the likes of Luca. You know, Gareth Bale can be anything he wants to be. You know, if he keeps improving. You know, I think David Ginola was probably, you know, on ability was probably the best player. Yeah.
Okay, certainly lit up the Barclays Premier League. Now, Ahmed from Egypt, Barclays Premier League, of course, is a global league, watched all over the world. So even in Egypt, Ahmed sent this question through Facebook, asking, who do you think is the best player in the Premier League at the moment?
I think these are tough questions.
Yeah.
I think Rooney's playing particularly well at the moment. You know, scoring goals, linking up. You know, and that shows in you know, the way Manchester United have started this season. I think you know, he's really looking on top form, and you know, he's really, you know, when he plays like this, he's amongst the best in the world.
Yeah, we've certainly got some great players in this country, of course. Now, final question is here, and it's coming through Facebook, Ledley, and it says, you've come up both against Man City and Man United this season, although you didn't personally, but that's probably just as well. Who's your tip for the Premier League title, the Barclays Premier League title, and where in particular do you see Spurs finishing?
My tip for the title, I think you'd have to go for Man United with their experience of, you know, been there, done it. You know, still quite new to Man City. You know, I think there's a long way to go. I think Man City will push them all the way. You know, there's going to be a lot of points dropped between now and the end of the season.
Do you think it is between those two, though?
Yeah, I think them two are looking the favourites at the moment. You know, obviously Man City's spending power. You know, they've got the ability to bring in more players if they need to in January.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think Man United will be too strong this season.
What about Spurs?
And I expect Spurs to be, you know, right up there in the, you know, within the top four. You know, obviously there's other sides that, you know, will want to be doing the same thing. You know, the likes of Chelsea, and you know, will still be looking to win the title. But you know, I think the two Manchester clubs are my favourites for the top two, and I expect, you know, Tottenham to be right in amongst it after that.
Brilliant stuff, Ledley. Good luck for the rest of the season. Thank you very much indeed for coming in as well. It's great to have you with us. Thank you for watching and for getting involved as well. If you've got in touch with us with questions for Ledley, thank you for doing that. I know that Ledley will be reading some of them after this as well. Now, if you do want to find out more about the Barclays Premier League, you can do that on facebook.com/Barclays Football, or on Twitter, it's at Barclays Footy. That's F-O-O-T-Y at the end, not I-E. But for us, that is all we've got time for. Thanks for joining us. Thanks again to Ledley, and good luck for the rest of the season, Ledley. We'll see you next time.